In the last episode, Sonic and Tails made their way through the arid sands of Mirage Saloon, battling magicians, illusory bounty hunters, and seared disappointment at not being able to properly ride a train to get shot out of a giant revolver and land in Oil Ocean. All I feel I need to say about this zone is that I usually forget it's even in the game. The odds are stacked against it, as it's sandwiched between my two favourite zones in Mania, but come on, it doesn't bode well. Considering my usual diminished ability to play Mania if I leave it for more than about a week, Oil Ocean Act 1 went surprisingly smoothly. More so than most other levels, Oil Ocean has a certain rhythm to it that you need to quickly fall into to do well. Octuses will jump and shoot at regular intervals, which can cut off your own jump, while burn hatches will blast open to leave you without a platform to land on. This can make Oil Ocean quite a difficult stage unless you are paying attention, but if you are, then the whole thing is kind of a cakewalk. Picking up a fire shield is fun because you can set the entire ocean ablaze, even if it really doesn't actually do anything. Jumping into the oil and sinking below a pillar allows us to reach a column of fans, atop which we find a special stage. I've been stuck on the damn Fourth Chaos Emerald for so long now, and this was probably the closest I've come to getting it yet. I didn't fall down this pit due to my poor depth perception, collected a fair number of rings, got really close to catching the UFO, but tripping over a few mines meant I was just barely too far away to get the emerald when my ring count dried up. After exiting the special stage though, I decided to play it safe, never rushing forward too quickly and running into danger. I made my way to the uppermost path through the use of a few dozen elevators and my fire shield stash. In the process, racking up a very healthy ring count I sustained right up until facing the Act boss, who, to be honest, I have nothing to talk about with. I defeated the meter droid in 15 seconds, threw rents, turned on some pipes, died before the attack pattern could loop. I don't think I've ever seen such a pathetic excuse for a boss in any game ever. His death explosion does seem to set off the ore fumes in the air though, because immediately after his defeat, the entire refinery begins to burn. A strangely beautiful effect that gives Act 2 of Oil Ocean an atmosphere completely unlike anything else in the game, but goddamn, I am very glad I'm not the one without any sort of respiratory aid in these conditions. I'll leave dealing with this mess on you, Sonic. I'll stick to hand-wringing over the ecological fallout. The gameplay of the Act does leave something to be desired though. While the idea of needing to periodically cleanse the air using these things before the smog drains your rings is fun, and not so overbearing as to be suffocating, which you might argue it should be, look at it, the rest of the stage gimmicks don't match up to that. Whether it's the running oil you need to awkwardly jump through to ascend as if some bizarre elevator, or these springs you need to charge up, it all just feels like awkward time wasters. I also did nowhere near as well avoiding damage, as I was running into spikes and octuses constantly. It's worst in these mini submarine sections, where you don't have enough room to really manoeuvre around their shots, as octuses line every nook, cranny and crevice. And just in case your underwater / under oil excursions with these octopi batniks just wasn't enough for you, then it's your lucky day. The main boss of Oil Ocean is the Mega Octus, one of the stranger bosses in Mania. There are several moving parts to the encounter. Firstly, one tentacle will rise from gaps between your safe platforms, firing lasers that will act either as standard projectiles or leave a sort of trail effect on the ground, which can be difficult to avoid. Then, some larger tentacles will tear down some of the platforms and the main body will surface, along with two final tentacles that have these weird drum attachments to shoot projectiles with. You avoid the initial laser blasts, generally try and get to the platform which isn't going to get pulled under, take out the two drum tentacles, then you can focus on the main body. By this point tentacles will be flying out of the oil, and you need to duck under them, but you'll also stop bothering on making your way to a safe platform. The Mega Octus will be too far away to jump at, so you're better off jumping into the oil and getting a good few hits. It's not a particularly difficult fight, but there's a lot more to it than your average Mania boss fight, and it's a pretty fun way to top off Oil Ocean. Well, maybe just slightly below the flying submarine that takes you to Lava Reef.
They fly now! They fly now!
Lava Reef is a great zone which we'll get to next episode, but for now, I hope you enjoy the video. Ciao.